Thank you.
What do you think? Sweat. Yeah, you sweat all day. You're losing water all day, right? You got water on the outside of your body all the time. Then at night in the Sahara Desert, it gets below freezing. So all that water on your body freezes, and you become a human popsicle. Is that fun?
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Hi everyone, welcome once again to GTV Channel 23. I'm Chris Grout. Today we're at Munson Elementary School and I'm standing here with Louise Henry, the principal of Munson Elementary, and sometimes it probably feels like you have the weight of the entire world on your shoulders.
Today, actually, the students have a chance to take a trip around the world without even leaving the building.
It's obviously the big thing here in the gymnasium is an entire globe, and behind us is a presenter from the Earth Dome organization, and they're presenting to the kids. Tell us about this program and why you decided to bring it here to Munson.
Our PTO provides different enrichment activities throughout the course of the year, and this is one of them that relates to our science standards. And students have an opportunity to go around the outside of the world and to see the continents and oceans and different things. And then they also have an opportunity to go inside and learn some different things about bodies of water and time zones and things like that they'll be studying in their science classes as well.
How important is it, Louise, to introduce the kids to projects like this that involve what they're learning in the classroom?
This kind of thing really brings science more to life than them just looking at a globe inside the classroom. You can probably hear the excitement behind me just when they came in and saw this kind of a thing. It's an automatic interest grabber, and they can go around and actually touch a continent or ocean a little different than just looking at a flat map.
These are all well-behaved kids. Let's walk around this way so we can see the kids enjoying this. This is the second class we've observed, and they are extremely intrigued by this whole globe concept.
It's an interesting opportunity for them with having to reduce the number of field trips that we've taken. We've had to look at some more creative ways to bring things into the school to give students some of the same experiences, and certainly even with a field trip situation they wouldn't have had a chance to experience something like this. So we've been fortunate to tap into some good resources and get some really interesting experiences for the students here.
And I understand that this was completely funded by PTO?
Yes, completely funded by the PTO. We actually tried to get this last year, and it was so popular it was booked up. So we put a deposit down a year in advance, and we were lucky enough to get it to come this year.
PTO funds come from what activities?
PTO does a number of fundraisers throughout the year. They just finished up their big Munson Reverse raffle, and they put a lot of their funds into the classrooms and really put an emphasis on getting experiences directly to the students, and this is just one of those.
Each of the elementary schools has a PTO organization, and they're extremely important to bringing projects like this to all of our elementary schools here in Chardon local schools.
The PTO support is tremendous, from the volunteers that come in on a day-to-day basis to read with the students or to help out teachers, or just experiences like this. The support here has been just overwhelming.
Now, all the kids here will have an opportunity to participate in the globe?
Right. There are 8 different sessions that will go on. They're 30 minutes in length, and so we have 2 classes in each session. So throughout the course of the day, every student in the school will get a chance to experience the world.
I just love watching their faces as they're listening to the presenter, and they can't wait to go inside, because this class came early enough to see the other class bouncing around inside, and they are, just look at them. Well-behaved kids you have out here.
Yeah, this is obviously holding their attention. They look rather spellbound at the moment, but I think some of the things that brings a little closer home, a lot of them have seen the movie Madagascar that's just been out, and now they actually get to see where that is in the world, and it takes it a little bit more from the TV to something that they'd actually be able to apply in school.
You as similar to the other elementary schools, have a focus on reading out here. Tell us about that.
Reading is a real huge focus, particularly this year. We're involved in a grant called the OISM grant, which is looking at early literacy, and these folks that are here right now are part of that. The teachers have gone to a variety of workshops this year learning all kinds of different techniques, 5 big ideas in literacy, and how to collect data and to chart student progress throughout the year. So hopefully parents should be seeing some improvements in those areas as the year goes on.
What recommendations do you have for parents at home? What can they do with the students to help improve their reading skills?
The biggest thing is real easy. Just read to them or have them read to you. Ask them questions. You don't need a degree in reading to help your child a lot. Take them to the library and get a lot of those early experiences so they learn to love reading.
I think right now the students are stepping inside of the globe, and we want to get a chance to go in there as well. We're speaking with Louise Henry. She's a principal here at Munson Elementary School out here in Munson Township. And these are, what grade are we looking at here, Louise?
We have first and second graders here, 1 class of each, who are now entering the dome.
You still do your Reading Awards Day? Is that coming up anytime soon?
We just finished one for the first portion of the year. We do one every quarter, and we had a great problem last time. We had so many awards, we actually had to go back to PTO for a little more funds to make sure that we could recognize all those students that have progressed from one level to the next. So that's another one of the reading activities students get very excited about here at Munson.
Now, you used to be the vice principal up at the middle school, and now you've been out here for, this is your second year?
Yes, this is my second year here at Munson.
Fairly different group of kids, right?
Very different group of kids, but I kind of feel like I've come home. My daughter went through here, and I'm from this area, and so it's very exciting to see kids so fired up about learning.
We're watching the Earth Dome project here in the cafetorium at Munson Elementary School, and in a short while here we're going to get a chance to take our camera inside and see what the kids have witnessed. But so far they've been instructed on these land masses, and they're answering questions about locations of things. On their sheet here they talk about continents, oceans, mountains, rivers, time zones, latitude, longitude, geology, and plate tectonics. And we just didn't have anything like this when we were in school, did we, Louise?
No, I guess it's dating me, but I remember going and watching people walk on the moon. So now I guess the fact that students are being able to experience the whole world in their gym is kind of remarkable.
Do you use in the classrooms Google Earth? Do you know what I'm referencing, in the whole mapping program? Do you ever expose the kids to that?
I'm not sure if they've done Google Earth or not. Really depends on the grade level, whether that fits into the standards for that grade level. But the teachers have access to a tremendous amount of information to kind of bring these sort of real-life things into the classroom. I know one of the teachers was just mentioning, one of the teachers that has a smart board was talking about how they, kind of did a whole frog dissection without touching a frog, just by being able to bring it up online and having kids experience that. And that was normally a high school biology lesson, so it's great to have those resources.
That's very cool. My daughter would like to hear that, because she's not looking forward to that part of the curriculum when she actually has to dissect that frog. I wonder if we can peek inside. They're kind of closed up, so we're going to take a brief break. We want to thank Louise Henry and all the folks out here at Munson Elementary School for inviting us out for this Earth Dome project. You guys are doing a good job out here.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a brief break. We'll come right back with some more views of the Earth Dome here on GTV.
All right, yeah, hopefully he gets...
This is, as I said, the North Pole. Santa lives up here, but it's just ice and snow. There's no land. There's plenty of land over here. This is the United States where we live. But it looks a little backwards. Florida should be on this side. California should be over here. This is where we live, right up. Oh, look! There's Charlotte, right there. Oh, there's Charlotte Elementary School. Wait there. Wait here, Charlotte. Now wait back. You gotta wait back. This is where we live. United States. We're not alone in North America, though. We got a country above us called Canada, probably heard of that, and Mexico is below us. All three of us make up North America. We can cross out of North America and go on this big ocean, land over here in Europe. A lot of countries you've heard of in Europe. This is the Atlantic Ocean, by the way. There's a meteor coming in. This is Europe. Quiet, please. A lot of countries you've heard of. This is Spain and Portugal. This is France over here. And there's Italy and Greece. This is the biggest, largest lake in the world.
Whoa.
It's called the Caspian Sea. It's not really a sea because a sea is supposed to empty its water out into the ocean. This doesn't do that. It's a lake. And there's nothing much growing around there either. So what kind of water do you think might be in the lake? What kind of water can you drink? This is not polluted. Yeah, you can't drink that either, but it's not.
Salt water.
Salt water, right. You can't drink salt water when you say water. It doesn't grow anything. So that's why nothing's growing around there. This lake does separate the continent of Europe from the largest continent, which is what?
Asia.
Yeah, Asia. Asia has the biggest country in it too. Russia is part of Asia, right? It's the biggest country in the world. This is China. China has the most people in it. 1.2 billion people live in China. If you look here, this is India. What? As many people live in India as do in China, but it's not got enough kind of a crowded place like we are here today. This is the biggest island, the biggest mountain in the world. This is Mount Everest. Have you heard that before? Above India. Below India is the Indian Ocean. So we've got the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and back here behind me is the Pacific, the biggest one. If you look around the world, most of the world is covered with water. 70% of the earth is covered with water, right? So the fish have 70% of the earth to play around on. People have only 30%. Doesn't seem right.
No fair.
If you look around the Pacific Ocean, every country that touches the Pacific is said to be part of the Ring of Fire. Because that's where most earthquakes and volcanoes happen around the world. This is California. Look, I can move the world with one hand. There we go.
Wow.
Nothing to it, really. What time do you need to be finished? What time do you need to be finished? I think you're the last class before lunch. Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure. I didn't want to mess you up. That's all. Quiet, please. Shh, 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 shh. Good morning, third grade.
Good morning.
Thank you. How do you like the show so far? Nothing to it, really. Shh. This. Quiet, please. My name is Kathleen Day, and this is the Earth Dome. It's 22 feet wide, and it should be 20 feet high, but it's too big for the room. So it touches the ceiling. It'll be more evident once we get inside how that affects us here. Quiet, please. Shh, 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 shh. We got kind of a limited amount of time, so I'm going to ask you to kind of stifle a little bit if you can. Okay, we'll take questions and stuff afterwards if we have a chance. As I said, we're going to talk about this. This is the Earth Dome, and you'll see images on here. These are actually photographs taken from 22,000 miles in space. Anybody got satellite TV at home? Cell phones? Anybody have cell phones? Yeah, your family? Okay. That's what those communication satellites are used for normally. They're used to send those signals back and forth. We're using them to take pictures. We took over 1,000 pictures to get these images. I'm going to walk right through you, okay? And stand back here for just a second. Thank you. At that distance, this is a very accurate picture of how the world looks. But that far away, you can't see anything made by people. You can't see any towns or cities or bridges. You can't see the Great Wall of China. Hi. But you can see an awful lot of color, and that's what we're going to concentrate on. What's all this blue color, everybody? Everybody all together. Water. Exactly. That's ocean water. This is a lake right here, of course, if I can get this thing to work. That should work. There it is. This is a lake. This is a river. This is called the Amazon River. If that's the Amazon River, what continent is this? Who can raise your hand and tell me that? Ma'am.
South America.
Very good. How many continents are there, everybody?
7.
7. Who can raise your hand and give me the name of another one besides South America? Yes, sir. North America. Very good. How about another one? Yes, ma'am.
Asia.
Asia. Very good. Young lady?
Africa.
Africa is another one. How about you?
Europe.
Europe is another one. I think I have 5 up now. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Antarctica. Good. What's the last one? Australia. Good. We got them all. You're going to see them all today because we're going to go around the world. And then we're going to go inside the world. Are you scared? You should be terrified. Okay. Has anybody ever been around the world before? Who's been around the world before? Okay. Well, you can show us the way. How's that? We'll follow you. Okay. It's a small world, right? Now, this green stuff, what do you think this green stuff might be, everyone?
Land.
No, land's brown. What's green outside? Grass, and what else? Trees, sure. The light green are forests, the dark green are grasslands like the prairies in Kansas. Get a lot of water there so they can grow a lot of food. There's also different colors of blue, we notice here. This dark blue, that means shh, 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 shh. That means that's deep water. This is a trench, like a drop-off. You might have seen that in SpongeBob, has trenches in there. Also, the light blue, those are something called a continental shelf. You might not have heard that term. All that means is that this is a continent, as you seem to know very well, and next to it, attached to it really, is more land, but it's below sea level. So it's very shallow water because there's a land right below there. It's a continuation of the land. These wrinkly things are mountains. These are the Andes Mountains. Anybody here named Andy? No? It's going to give somebody some mountains. I guess not. This is a desert. Anybody ever been to a desert before? You ever seen a desert before? Okay, it's a long way to go to a desert in Ohio. Okay, and it's a very different terrain from Ohio too. There's not much snow in Ohio. It's not much snow in this desert here, of course. And also, there's not much growing in the desert. This is the driest desert on earth. This is the Atacama Desert. If we have time, I'll explain why it's so dry. But here, if you'll see, you'll notice little black dots with names by them as we go around the world. These are the large cities, the big population centers. You won't see many of those in the desert because the desert doesn't have enough what? Water. Yeah, simple as that, simple as that. Too easy, huh? A lot of things that we talk about today are going to be imaginary things, too. Things we've kind of made up to understand the world. Not we, I mean people in general. The first thing is that big line that goes around the center of the world. Who can raise your hand and tell me the name of that? Yes, ma'am.
The equator.
The equator. What does the equator separate? What does it divide the earth into? Young lady in purple. Uh-huh. Right. Which hemispheres? What are they called? Very good. The top and the bottom, the northern and southern hemispheres too. And there are very real differences in the northern and southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, up where we live, the winds blow this way. These are called prevailing winds. They blow from the west to the east. So that means they push the weather that we get from the west to the east. So if it's raining or snowing in, say, Indianapolis or Chicago, before long it'll probably be raining or snowing here because that's the way the wind blows the rain or snow. In the southern hemisphere, though, excuse me, it's exactly the opposite. I'm going to barge through you again, okay? Excuse me. The winds blow from the east to the west. They come in this direction. And that's why this desert is so dry. Because the winds blow the rain clouds across South America. They come here to these mountains. These Andes Mountains are some of the tallest on earth. They're so tall that the rain clouds cannot get over those mountains. They drop all their rain on this side. This is called a rain shadow effect. Yeah, you never heard that before, huh? The rain shadow effect means that all the rain is on one side of the mountains. The other side gets not hardly any at all. The Atacama Desert here in South America once went 70 years without a drop of rain. Anybody here 70 years old? Couple. Okay, you got a slow learner over here and one there too. Okay, well done. Excellent job. Now, as I said, we're going to go around the world. You know the first thing you have to do to go around the world? Stand up. Can you do that? Stay in your lines, if you will, please. We're going to come around the corner this way. Young man, if you could see that white line back there, are you in the front row or the second row? You're in the front row. Okay, stay right here. Young lady, can you come with me? You take that white line over there, and we'll just be a little bit in front of her, okay? Follow your leaders, please. There you go. Young man, how about on these bricks right here? There you go. Keep coming. You're on the white line. That's it. Keep coming. Keep coming. Right about there. That's fine. Have a seat. Why don't you sit right about here, bud? There you go. Perfect. Have a seat, everyone. Keep coming, please. Second line and first line. Please don't touch the world. Please don't touch it. There you go. Quiet, please. Shh, shh, shh. Have a seat in the back on the white line, please. Quiet, please, boys and girls. Shh, 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 shh. Front row, can you sit down, please? Can you move back a little bit, please? You'll see a little bit better. I know we're really crowded here, but you'll see a little bit better if you're further back. It goes for you guys, too, of course. You can move back a little bit. Boys and girls, can you move back just a little bit in the front row? And if you move back, you'll see better. Okay. This is the second largest continent, which is called what? Yes, ma'am. Africa. This is where the giraffes and zebras and lions and gorillas live. Where do you see those animals yourselves? Sir?
The zoo.
The zoo, sure, sure. What do they have to live in when they live in a zoo? Anybody know? Sir? Habitat? What's another thing they have to live in a zoo? Yes, sir. Well, pens, or what's another name for that? Yes, ma'am. I didn't think this was a hard one. Well, not exactly.
Cage.
Cages. Yeah, they live in cages. Anybody here live in a cage? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Child Protective Service. That's right. I'm sure with good cause, too. I don't think that would be an enjoyable way to live, living in a cage. And I don't imagine the animals like it either. But if they're allowed to stay here in Africa in these jungles, they can run around free, which is a cooler way to live, of course. I'm sure you'll agree. Can you sit down, please? They're kind of trying to get around you, that's all. This is a big, big river, a huge river system, really. This is the Congo River, and it keeps all this area nice and green, keeps that food growing for the animals that live there. This is a huge system of lakes right here, keeps all the rest of this area nice and green. This is actually the third largest lake on Earth. This is Lake Victoria. Anybody here named Victoria? Oh, almost. It used to be your name, huh? Okay. There's the largest river on Earth in Africa, too. Who can tell me the name of that? What's the name of the largest river, the longest river on Earth? Ma'am? Nile River. Is that what you were going to say? You're exactly right. The Nile River is unique for a couple of reasons. First, because it's the longest, of course. But second, because of the way it flows. Most rivers flow from the top to the bottom. They go from the north to the south. The Mississippi River, all those kind of rivers go like that. Even this Congo River, if you look at it, it starts over here, and it goes north for a little bit, but then goes south and empties into the ocean. The Nile River goes south for its whole flow. It goes from the top to the bottom. It flows up. If you look right here, this is where it starts. These are called the headlands. Goes up through the jungle, around and around, goes into the desert, around and around and around, and ends up way up here in Egypt, and it empties out into the Mediterranean Sea. It's more than 4,000 miles long. It's longer than the United States. Wow. I know. It goes through this big desert up here, too. This is the largest desert on Earth. Who can raise your hand and tell me the name of the largest desert on Earth? Begins with the letter S. That's all right. What do you think?
The Sierra.
Not exactly. You're close, but not exactly. The Sahara. Has anybody heard that word before? The Sahara Desert. You have, haven't you? Sorry, I can't call everybody at the same time. The Sahara Desert. Sahara is an African word. You know what it means? Desert. So when you say Sahara Desert, you're saying desert, desert. Strange situation. But it's a huge one, too, and it's getting bigger all the time, unfortunately. See this kind of dark brown stuff? I don't know if you can see it from where you are. There's a dark brown band here with some green in the middle. This is actually turning back into desert. It used to be all nice and green like it is here. People could grow food on it, live on that sort of thing. Now it's turning into desert. And it's a very difficult situation up here. This is the country of Chad, right here near Lake Chad. Next to it, there's a little country called Darfur, a little area called Darfur. And people there are having a war right now. They're calling it a civil war, but what they're fighting over really is food. They're killing each other over food because they don't have much room to grow the food. Hush, 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 hush. They don't have much room to grow the food, and people are starving. So if they're not fighting over the food, if they're not killing each other over the food, they're dying from starvation. So it's a horrible situation here in this part of Africa because but people in general didn't take care of the land the way they should have, kept it nice and green and able to grow things. So starvation is a result of not taking care of the land sometimes. Luckily, we don't have that problem here in the United States, which also means, though, that we have a duty to help these people out because they're human beings just like we are. This is a big island. This is an island you might have heard of. This is, sir? Yes, sir? Madagascar. Who's seen the movie? Anybody? Good, good. I would hope so. This is the real place, and it's a pretty good-sized little island. It looks kind of small next to Africa, but it's about 900 miles long, actually. I know it. Every inch on this globe equals 30 miles in the real world. These are little puny islands over here. It gives you an idea of how big this really is. If you look in the middle of it, too, most of it's brown in the middle. I know you can't see it over there, but when you come by, be sure and look at it. Most of it's brown in the middle. 20 years ago, it used to be almost all rainforest. It used to be nice and green like here. In the last 20 years, 80% of that rainforest has been destroyed by people. Remember the lemurs that were in the movie? Those lemurs are not just an endangered species, they're critically endangered. They're almost extinct because we destroyed their homeland. In the year 2004, just that one year, 25 million acres of rainforest around the world was destroyed by people. How old are you guys? Are you 10, 9? 9, 8 and 9? Okay. In your lifetime, in the last 10 years, in the entirety of your lifetime, over 1,000 different species of plants and animals and bugs and reptiles, things like lizards and snakes and frogs, they become extinct because of the destruction of the rainforest around the world. So that's 1,000 different types of living things you'll never see because we haven't taken care of the world the way we should have. And if plants and animals can become extinct, what other living things can become extinct? Yes, ma'am. What are we? Well, I'm part monkey, but not entirely. Yes, ma'am. Well, we're not fish, are we? Yes, sir. Well, yeah, but what kind of mammals are we? Human beings. Yeah, I didn't think that was a hard question. Sure. If plants and animals can become extinct, people will too. Because there are a lot of things that we need from plants and animals. Who can raise your hand and tell me something we get from trees?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. We can't breathe without plants and trees. What else do they give us? Yes, sir. Air. Oxygen, air. Yeah, good. Yes, ma'am. Food, yeah. Everything you eat is either plant or animal. You don't eat rocks, do you?
No.
Don't eat dirt, do you? No. People eat plants and animals. So we need these plants and animals to survive. We couldn't eat, we couldn't breathe, couldn't give us a lot of the medicines we need. We get a lot of that from plants and animals. So if we destroy their home and they're extinct, we're not going to be far behind. We'll be extinct too. But if we take care of those places, we're taking care of ourselves at the same time. Let's travel again, shall we? Can you stand up, please, in your lines? And we'll cross along here. On the purple, and you, sir, just a couple blocks in. On the purple, please. Stay on that line so we have enough room for everybody. That's it. And just cross on the white there, too. Around the corner this way. There we go. And right here, young man and woman, have a seat, please. Have a seat. I'll get this out of your way. There you go. Go kind of back into the corner, please, so people can come around further. That's it. No, I don't mean, I meant on the line. I'm sorry. Have a seat. You do well with instructions. No, sit right there, boys. Don't go too far. Move back in a little. Can you move back in a little so we get more kids over this way? Please. Second line should be right back here. Second line should be right back here. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Woohoo. Can you turn around there, young man? There we go. There he is. This is Australia. This is where the kangaroos and the wombats and the wallabies live. Koala bears live there too. If you were to go around Australia, go around in the water, keep going around and around and around and around and around and around, you'll end up over here. This is the Great Barrier Reef. This is where Nemo lives. You've seen Finding Nemo, I guess. Okay, good. If you keep going around in the water, eventually you'll end up down here. This island down here kind of looks like Ohio, doesn't it? It's not, though. It's Tasmania. This is where Tasmanian devils live. Anybody here a Tasmanian devil? Yeah, most of you. Okay. Everyone should have their hands up. This is your homeland right down here. Tasmanian devils are kind of like badgers. They're real animals. They're not just cartoons. They're like a badger. You know what a badger is? A little black and white little thing. Kind of a mean little animal, too. Very aggressive. They come from down here. This is a big what? What's this big area in the middle here? Desert, right. This is the Outback Desert. Have you heard of the Outback Steakhouse? This is why they call it that. Because most people who live here, and they're not very many, no big towns, most people who live out here are cowboys and cowgirls. They raise cattle on cattle ranches, and they turn that into steak and send it halfway around the world to be served at your plate, on your plate at the Outback Steakhouse. So if you eat at the Outback Steakhouse, you're eating steak from Australia. Hopefully they refrigerate it when they send it. That'd be a good thing. This is also called the land down under, Australia is, because it's completely under what? No, water. My favorite answer. Okay. Not underwater. Hello, I'm from Australia. It's completely underneath that invisible line we talked about. Or, excuse me, an imaginary line. Sir? The equator. It's completely in the southern hemisphere. Girls? Thank you. It's completely in the southern hemisphere. That's not the only imaginary line we talk about. We talk about the Earth, though. These lines are lines of longitude. Have you had that yet? Longitude and latitude? Okay. These lines are navigation lines. The long ones going up and down are longitude. The latitude lines go back and forth, like a lateral pass in football. That's a good way to remember it. That goes back and forth, too. We haven't put the latitude lines. We have very few of the longitude, but we've separated the Earth into 24 sections. Why would we do that, do you think? What else is divided into 24? Hours in a? Day. Right. 24 hours in a day. There's one for each hour of the day. These are time zones. Do you know what time zone you live in? Have any idea? Hands going up and down like this. Yes, sir.
Number 7.
Well, no. Good try, though. Lucky number. Yes, sir. No, that's our time, and that's our date. This is the Eastern time zone of the United States. There are 4 of them here. We live from New York all the way through Ohio and parts of Indiana. We're all in the same time. If it was 12 o'clock in New York, it's 12 o'clock here. Well, you go a little further west, it's in the central time zone. It's only 11 o'clock there, like Chicago. That's in the central time zone. You go a little further west, the mountain time zone, it's only 10 o'clock there. And if you go way out to California, it's only 9 o'clock. They're 3 hours behind us. So, well, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You guys are in school at 9 o'clock, aren't you? Okay, you're studying like fiends, I know. It's only 6 o'clock out in California. So while you're studying in school, those lazy kids in California, still in bed. Is that fair? No. It's so wrong. But you get to go home before they do, so it works out pretty well. Now, we're going to go inside here using this little door over here. This is an imaginary line, too. This is called the International Date Line, or the Prime Meridian. Now, when the Earth spins around to give us a day, all these imaginary things we talked about, the equator, the longitude and latitude lines, the time zones, they travel around with the Earth, in our imagination anyway. But this line stays still. This International Date Line stays still. And as our Eastern time zone passes that International Date Line, one day here in Ohio becomes the next day. Wednesday becomes Thursday. Thursday becomes Friday, and Friday becomes Saturday. The best day of the week, that's right. This is where we're going to go inside, too. Now, I'm not going to ask you to take your shoes off because I don't want to mess you up for lunch, but no, do not take your shoes off. Do not. Okay. I know you love to, but do not. We're going to go inside here, but before we do, I need to tell you a couple things. When you go inside, you'll see a big blue circle on the ground. Inside of that, there'll be a white area. That's the floor. That's the only place I'd like you to sit or stand or walk, okay? That's the floor. That's what it's made for. But as we go in, and since it can't inflate in its entirety anyway, you're going to see gray material on the ground all around that part. Those are the walls coming down. Don't sit or stand or touch that part because it can be ripped. It's not made for walking. Make sense? What color are you going to walk on, everybody? Everybody.
White.
And? Blue. Exactly. What color are you not going to walk on? Gray. Very good. That's all you need to know. Also, I'm going to ask you not to talk while you're in here because all these time zones, all these panels, make this into an echo chamber. When I talk, when we're in here, my voice is going to sound like 5 different people. It's going to bounce off all these and then go up to the top and come back down again. So my voice will come from 5 different directions. So it sounds really bizarre. But if anybody else talks at the same time, whew, chaos. 30, 40, 50 people will sound like, okay? So we won't be able to get anything in. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you not to talk or even whisper to each other while you're in there, okay? Because that's, oh, sit. Don't become a mob now. Just the front row, please stand up. Just the front row for now. I'm going to ask you to go all the way around on the blue. Circle around on the blue, okay? Circle all the way around on the blue. Come back over to me. All the way around the circle on the blue. Keep coming around. That's it. Around the circle on the blue, if you will. And sit right there, young man, please. Around the circle on the blue. No talking, remember. Get as far as you can and sit back towards the blue a little bit. There you go. All the way around the circle on the blue, okay? Go as far as you can, girls, please. That's it. Around the circle on the blue, young lady. On the blue, young lady. Keep going around as far as you can go before you sit down. Quiet, please. Stop for just a minute. Stop. Young lady, can you move around further? Everybody move around further, please, because we got 2 classes to get in, okay? Keep going. There you go. Okay. Have a seat. Boys, where are you going? Where are you going, buddy? You're supposed to be in line there. Stop a minute. Come back this way. You're too close to the gray. Can you stand up and come through and come back over here, please? Come back, go through, go between the kids. No, you're all right, young lady.
You know where the blue triangle is?
Young lady in purple, where are you going? Sit back where you were. You were fine. Stand up, young man, please. Stand up. He's going to sit there. And you, if we got room, come here as quick as you can. Quiet, please, girls and boys. You gotta be, young man, hush, please. Can you guys move back a little bit, please, young lady in blue? And put your legs up like this. Can you do that with the skirt on, or is that not good? Yeah. And move back behind her. Keep going back with her. As she goes too. Go back, young man. Go back. Go in. There you go. Keep going in. We got to get the teachers in here yet. Can you come over here? Can you sit over there? Atta boy.
Thank you for the big scooch.
Young man, can you move to your left, please? There we go. Come right in, young man. Yep. Cost you $1, but you can get in. Cheap, huh?
I'm a teacher, so.
I'm an actor, so we're in the same boat. I got behind you. I don't want to zip your bottom in here. There you go. Okay. I'm going to ask you to move back now again, if you will. Thanks.
Okay, remember, no.
Oops, excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of crowded in here, isn't it? What continent are you sitting on, though? Sir? Nope. What pole? What pole? South Pole. There you go. This is Antarctica. Coldest place on Earth. Nobody really lives there because it's too cold. It's also a cold desert. So there's no water and it's very cold. Yes, ma'am. What, please? No, not the South Pole. Santa lives up here at the North Pole. Oh! What kind of child are you? Don't know where Santa lives. This is the North Pole. There's no land up here, though. This is frozen Arctic Ocean water. This is not a continent at all. So, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hi.
I have to put lunch tables right against where you got your ball here.
Okay, I'll be out in a minute.
They'll be fine.
I'm not worried. There we go. There, we're giving a little more room. There we go. Look here, if you will, please. This is the North Pole. All right, no land up there, as I said. Quiet, please. Shh, boys and girls, gotta be real quiet. This is the United States of America, but it's backwards. There's Florida. Florida should be on the East Coast. We're inside the Earth, though, so everything is reversed. Everything's turned around backwards. You can find things after a bit. There's Chardon right there. Chardon Elementary School. Can you see it? No, I guess not. This is the United States. Mexico is also part of North America, and Canada as well. Canada, the United States, and Mexico, all of us make up this continent. We can go across this ocean and get to this other continent. This is the Atlantic Ocean. So what continent is this over here? Sir? Begins with E. Begins with E, the continent. Yes, sir?
Europe.
Europe, right here, exactly. Spain and Portugal and France, Germany. Here's Italy. Italy is like a big boot. You know what they do in Italy all day long?
What?
They kick each other with their big boots. No, you don't think that's right? Well, maybe I'm wrong. Okay. There's Greece. These are the British Isles, Scotland and England and Wales. There's Ireland. The Nordic countries are cold, of course, because they're close to the North Pole. This is the Caspian Sea. This is the Caspian Sea. Good circumstance, isn't it? This is the largest lake. This is the largest lake on Earth, but it's got salt water in it, so nothing much can happen for human beings there, I'm afraid. This sea separates Europe from the largest continent in the world, Asia. Russia is part of that, so is China. China has the most people in one place. There's over 1 billion people in China. There's almost as many people in this country. This is India. Quiet, please, boys and girls. You've got to not talk at all, okay, because it's very, very echoey. And they're talking outside, so it's really, you can't understand anything. This is India. India has almost as many people as China, but it's not as big. So they're crowded. Like we are now, they're crowded that way all the time. This is a big range of mountains, the Himalaya Mountains. The largest mountain on Earth is right here. Ma'am? Right. That's above India. Below India is the Indian Ocean. So we've got the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, but the biggest ocean is behind me. What's the name of the biggest ocean? Everybody. Pacific. Excellent. Every country that touches the Pacific Ocean is said to be part of the Ring of Fire, because that's where most earthquakes and volcanoes happen. Most earthquakes in the United States happen in California on the Pacific coast. We've also got a live active volcano right here in the state of Washington, Mount St. Helens. Mostly what comes out of that is ash and smoke, that sort of stuff. What do you usually think of as coming out of a volcano, though, altogether? Lava. Right. When that lava cools down, sometimes it forms mountains, like the ones they have back here in South America. Those are volcanic mountains. Also sometimes it forms islands. These Hawaiian Islands are formed by volcanoes. If you were to measure that volcanic island right there, that looks really small, but it's the top of a volcanic mountain that starts way down here at the bottom of the sea. If you were to measure it from his fingertip right here, take that all the way up to the top of Hawaii, that would be the tallest mountain on Earth, taller than Mount Everest. So Hawaii looks tiny, but it's huge. Most of it's underwater. Look back here real fast, if you would. These light blue dots, we said those are, no, these are volcanoes. These are volcanic mountains underneath the water. This means it's shallow water. They're turning into islands very slowly. There's one right here that's starting to become an island. Most of them are still active, though, so they can put off more lava and grow a little bit more every time. This is the deepest part of the ocean. This is the Marianas Trench, 7.5 miles deep. If you were to put Mount Everest inside the Marianas Trench, you wouldn't be able to see Mount Everest. That's how deep it is. If we go across the Pacific, eventually we'll end up down here in New Zealand. This is where the kiwi birds live. And this is also where we found that international date line where we turn the world inside out. So now we're going to turn it right side out again. Give you your world back. How's that sound? Maybe some lunch, huh? Thanks for coming today. Enjoy the rest of your day, third grade. Have a good weekend. Thanks, teachers. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You got nice kids. Yeah, I do too. We'll have to do another show, huh?
Barge your way right through. You know?
That's right. Stop for just a second. Let me get a door for you. Step off there a minute. There you go. Go ahead, boys. Please, somebody go now. There you go. That's it. Here we go. Here we go. I know. When you're standing up, it does. Easy, 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 easy. Take your turn now. There you go. Yeah, I did the women's show too. Yeah, that was me. Easy go.
Asked questions, went and visited different places, Chardonnay, and tried to find out what we could. And I think as far as, like we said, the number of your average right now is 4 tickets perhaps?
Close to 4.
4 tickets a day. And for a village, I believe, that has, like we said, 20,000 vehicles coming through town a day, an abuse of 4 tickets, I don't think you can call that abuse at all. And like we said, that can change with the mayor, that could change with the chief, it can change with the council. But again, that's why this is going to be reviewed if it were to go into effect year after year after year, to make sure those things don't happen, I guess. Yes?
I'd like to ask the clerk from Orange, as the scenario that Chuck White described, has that hurt Orange in 27 years?
I'm sorry, what part of his
Well,
scenario?
has it got people out of here, like Orange?
Not at all. Not at all. We have a large business district. We have 4 hotels. 3 of them were built within the past 5 years.
And what size is your police department?
We have 14 full-time members. We cover 3.2 square miles, about 3,500 residents.
So it's really not traffic.
No,
So you're not city status yet either, are you?
no, we're also
Your
a
village.
We do have a small portion of Interstate 271 and US 422, though. So we do get some through traffic.
Okay. Any other questions? Cheryl?
Aren't the warnings documented? So in reviewing in a year from now?
I think there's verbal and written warnings, aren't there?
Verbal and written, but yeah. There
There-
are both verbal and written warnings, majority of warnings. If it's that's the only thing that's given at the traffic stop, then it's written as just that, a warning, either equipment or moving.
So yeah, just the written warnings would be documented, the verbals, you wouldn't be able to trace back, I guess. Any other questions? And if there aren't, council have anything else to say?
Does Dennis have anything to say?
Yeah, I'd like to do something.
Hey, Dennis, good to see you.
My name's Dennis Coyne. I'm the village prosecutor. I live at 2105 Lane in South Russell. I've been a county resident since the early 80s. I started out in the county prosecutor's office in 1988. I've represented Middlefield since about 1990. I also represent Burton, South Russell, and I'm assistant law director in Chardon. So I represent every law enforcement agency in Geauga County for the past at least 10 years. I have been a defense attorney for 20 years. I go all over the state of Ohio, representing people charged with crimes, federal court, state court, and municipal court. I've been to probably 20 mayor's courts. I don't see any problems with the mayor's court. And by the way, I don't have any, I don't really care if there's a mayor's court or not. It doesn't matter to me if there is one or if there's not. I'm just telling you, on my experience, what I know. The mayor's courts are run very efficiently, and the reputation that a mayor's court is going to be a speed trap, I don't see where that comes from. And the only one I've ever heard of before tonight is Lyndale. Okay, now they maybe tarnished it for the whole state of Ohio, certainly northeast Ohio, but the Supreme Court took care of that. They said if you don't have at least a mile stretch on interstate, you can't write speeding tickets. So Lyndale's out. Have you ever heard of them in the past 3 years?
No.
No, because they're done. So the Supreme Court cleaned up that abuse, and they're not abusive. They're efficient. The people like them. They come either on Saturdays or at night. They're, from all the surrounding areas. You get all these people in here from all the manufacturing, and they're in Warren. They'd rather come here than go to Chardon. It's another at least 20 minutes, half hour, especially in the winter. And I gotta look at my notes. Oh, yeah, I mean, can anybody else, besides this, Willard that you guys said was really bad, I don't hear about these mayor courts being a problem. Everyone has this perception that they're gonna increase the speeding tickets, but they really don't. They just become efficient. And the people love them. The people come in and they'd rather pay a maximum fine, maybe get a reduced ticket because they have a perfect driving record, than they would, you know, as opposed to waivering the tickets, just mailing it in. They get 2 points for the offense, they get a conviction on their leads, their insurance goes up, and the people like the mayor's courts. They'll come in and voluntarily pay double the fine if they could to get a reduced ticket, if in fact they deserve it. There's a lot of cities that I know of that deserve a bad reputation. They're not villages. I mean, look at Cleveland Heights. That's like the worst city ever. They give out speeding tickets for going 5 miles over the limit, 8 miles over the limit, 3 miles over the limit, and that is abusive. Lakewood, you know, these cities on the freeway, Lyndhurst, Mayfield Heights, they're there every single day. Willoughby, they're out there every single day. I don't know why they don't get a bad reputation like the mayor's courts get. But do you ever hear these mayor's? I didn't realize that in Ohio was over 350 mayor's courts. I was astonished to hear that big. There's only 70 counties, that's 5 per county. We have 0. Why are they doing it? Because they're making money, that's why. It's efficient, the people like it. If it wasn't any good, they wouldn't be increasing. I believe the Supreme Court, because the mayors were running maybe some of those courts, as opposed to magistrates, they've now regulated it, so they want the magistrates in there. They're gonna get rid of the mayors. And I think Mayor Cool's already indicated that he's not even gonna do it, just to keep the possibility of bias or impropriety from even creeping into the whole situation. Every municipal court in Ohio has budget problems, and they're all trying to find ways to get in the black year after year. They're increasing their costs significantly, and there is a law firm in Lake County right now putting together a class action suit against several municipalities throughout the state of Ohio for using the court costs. Now, in Geauga County, what we do is when a person receives a ticket, say for instance, you have a police officer out here in the corner at midnight, and he's only watching for red light people. So some guy comes in the middle of summer with no traffic, and tries to beat that light, he goes through the red light. So now he's gonna get a red light ticket. He's speeding, he's gonna get a speeding ticket. The police officer chases the guy, goes left to center, so now he's gonna get a violation of the double yellow line. Then he puts his car in the ditch, so he's going to get a reckless op or failure to control. So he potentially could get 4 or 5 citations. In this county, we put him on 1 ticket. And that ticket is a $79 court cost for the 1 charge. Every charge after that is like $24. In somebody like Medina, some of these other municipalities, they're charging, they put every single citation on a different ticket. So now you create 4 or 5 cases as opposed to 1, and $79 for every one of those tickets. And these municipalities are about to be sued, and they want these court costs to be, you know, reasonable. And they're going to demand that the people be reimbursed for you know, this abuse is really what it is. We're lucky that we don't have that problem. On the other hand, besides increasing the revenue, Chardon Municipal Court, as you read in the newspaper a couple times, that the commissioners and the city council do not want to give any money to Chardon Municipal Court. Now, I don't know why. In Garfield, they have an average of 4 cases a day more than we do. In Chardon, they have 2 judges, 2 magistrates, 2 bailiffs. They have separate clerks, and it's unbelievable. They only do 4 more cases than we do, and we can't get any money. So Chardon is so efficient that it's amazing how good a job that everybody does in that building. The clerks have been there a long time, they all know what they're doing, they don't waste time. It's a tribute really to how good they are. And the council and the commissioners think, well, it doesn't matter, they should be doing this no matter what. Anyway, Chardon found a new statute, actually it's not a new statute, Tom, I don't know if you agree with this one, it's 1901.26. It allows a municipality like Chardon, because they have a municipal court, to charge the villages, which in this case would only be Middlefield, Burton, South Russell, for every one of their cases that are brought into the court. And they're also talking about if the defendants in a civil case can be attributed to Middlefield, South Russell, and Burton, they're also going to charge for the use of the court those defendants that live in those villages. So there's a possibility coming up in the near future that you're going to be collecting less money than you're getting now. The $16,000, it could potentially go to zero. So I think what the cost here would be $40 a ticket if somebody came in and paid, as opposed to going Chardon, which would be $79 plus, and 24 extra on each additional charge. So, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Are there any questions for the prosecutor while he's up there?
Just a couple. You're saying those charges you're relating to, though, are not in effect at this point in time?
Correct.
That's correct. So,
They're looking
right now,
into-
you're saying the court is working pretty well and very efficiently up there, although they would like more help.
Yeah, they need more help, yes.
And I think you and the officer behind you related that 85% of the people just mail in their waivers, only 15 actually go to court to begin with. Is that correct?
I would imagine some, I don't know the figure, but yeah, I'm sure it's up there around.
So if someone wants to have a convenient arrangement, whether it be in Chardon, Middlefield, or wherever, and they live in Warren, they can just mail it in, right?
Well, you can only mail it in, you can only waive the ticket if you don't have a moving violation within the past year. So that precludes a lot of people.
And that wouldn't be a bad idea either, Chuck, is if the village here could actually just accept waivers. And that would, like you said, that's going to, that's 80-90% of the people anyhow, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. But that was something that was actually looked into also to see if we could do that. And you cannot do that unless you have a mayor's court. So that isn't a bad idea, but right now you still have to waiver it through Chardon, which I think, like you were saying back, I don't know whether it was in the 80s, Rick, I don't know if you know, or before that, to where you could actually come down here and waive a ticket. So I'm not sure when that was, but you could do that down here prior also, but you can't anymore.
So why is that? Why can't the police department accept a waiver from Chardon Municipal Court?
It's something you'd have to answer to.
They're not authorized to.
What?
The way, the fine has to be accepted by the court. Yeah,
Fine or the waiver?
Either way. It's a ticket. It's processing a ticket. Can't just be accepted by the police department. It has to go through some kind of court process.
Weren't the
If-
dispatchers deputized at one time in town, down here? Deputies off Chardon Municipal Court?
Not that I know of, and as far as I know, that would not be something that would be permissible under the statutes.
You know, I paid a waiver one time down here for Chardon Municipal Court. I worked this.
We did at one time. At one time, all the dispatchers and a number of the police officers were deputy clerks, but the Chardon Municipal Court cut that out. They don't want to allow it any longer.
And why did they cut that out, Chief?
You'll have to check with Chardon Municipal Court.
Maybe a conversation should take place with them, to provide that convenience for the people.
Well, one
He's indicating that the statute's going to permit it now, that they permitted it then, that they've changed them.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I haven't looked at that specifically, Rick, but I'd be surprised if the Chardon Court's able to deputize everybody in the state to collect their fines for them. It's risky. They would have to be bonded. It creates all kinds of finance problems. One other factor that happens with the way the statutes are structured, with a municipal court, all fines, there's a percentage of those that has to be paid to the county law library. And that's a statute that's been in place for decades. that statute does not apply, and there's actually a case that was decided recently on this, that statute does not apply to municipal courts. So,
To mayor's courts?
Sorry, to mayor's courts. But it does apply if it goes to Chardon. So in terms of the available dollars for the same fine that's levied at mayor's court and municipal court, there's a greater percentage available for the court, for the mayor's court in this case, than there would be available for the municipal court, because these dollars have to be paid to the county law library. The purpose of the county law library is to have smaller practitioners have access to law books, which are very expensive. But I can tell you, as somebody who's been actively involved with my law firm's library, law firm library expenses have plummeted in the last 10 years because everybody does research on the internet and their internet services, and very few lawyers will trundle down to the county law library to look up a case in a book when they can get it in about 30 seconds on their desk. And so that is an additional pool of funds, just by how this whole thing is structured, that those funds would stay in Middlefield for the same ticket that goes up to Chardon. Those funds, they don't stay with the Chardon Municipal Court, they go to the county law library, which is still in existence, but I would gather not very heavily used.
Question for Mr. Quinn. Under both scenarios, what would be, you're an employee of the village in terms of a contractor at this point? Is that correct?
Right.
What would be your position under the mayor's court as opposed to your position now?
It's the same one, same exact thing.
Chuck, in a mayor's court, the village is not required to have the prosecutor present, but most mayor's courts, and I would suggest probably all well-run mayor's courts generally do have the prosecutor present to both advise the mayor to make sure that things are running per procedure.
Now, at this stage of the game, the prosecutor obviously is not present because we don't have a mayor's court. So this is going to be additional time for him, is that what you're saying?
No, it's going to be time that he would spend in Chardon he'd be spending here. So.
And what happens when those cases that we don't hear go to Chardon?
He's still going to be there
In
also.
Chardon, right.
Both places. You think that's going to work out the same cost?
Let me get a little more, but I
Can we hold you on that?
So many cases will be disposed of here that I won't be charging in Chardon.
What'd you say? I've never heard a lawyer say that before.
I said there'll be so many cases disposed of here early that it'll cut the cost in Chardon.
Oh, cut the cost. I thought you said it won't cost it. Okay.
I have a question on something you stated, that if you had a previous moving violation, and you got a second one, you could not waive for the second one in 1 year. Is that county or is that statewide?
State.
Were you just looking for some free lawyer advice there, or, you know?
He's a good one.
He's got me interested.
Give me your card, Dennis.
Are there any other questions tonight for anyone? If not, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, I'd like to just say something else. This notion that Middlefield would become a speed trap, I just reject that whole premise, because it assumes the absolute worst behavior of our safety forces. And this is the safety force that receives accolades locally and from Chardon and the state and state agencies. I just can't believe that their integrity would drop to that level. I just reject the premise.
Bill might have responded to that, since it's me that probably brought it up. I think I had said before, I have great respect for the police department. I think the problem is, first, there could be another mayor in the future. There could be another chief in the future. There's going to be different council people in the future. You can't speak today for what could happen down the road, nor can you speak for the fact somebody might go mayor's court 5 years later.
But you,
I think what I am saying, though, is there is sort of a subliminal little thing going on in everybody's mind, I think, since this is being looked at as a profit-making or a way to retain
see,
more
I think
money.
you are the only one that's looking at it in that way.
No, he is.
No, I don't.
Is that what everybody's
No, Bill. I don't think
you're all here for?
And I think the problem with it is, if you're the new guy who just got hired, as an example, do you really want to be the guy that only did 3 tickets when everybody else did 10 or so? I mean, there's going to be, it's just natural. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the officers or anything else. It's just natural. If you know somebody's keeping score on something, you don't want to be the guy with the lowest score. I mean, if anybody disagrees with that, please tell me.
With the, Joe, are you gonna be keeping score on your boys?
We don't keep score like that, no. There's no quota for the number
Sure.
of tickets an officer has to write.
And I don't think there's gonna be a quota, and I don't think Joe's gonna keep score, but I think individually, everybody's gonna be under a great deal of pressure to kind of, let's, make sure this is working out.
Why? They don't make any more money writing
No,
tickets.
no, it's just a matter
Why
of
would they do that?
human nature.
And I believe right now with
think
our,
common sense
with
says
our
they
department that we do have now, you probably have a wide range with your officers, do you not? You
Yes.
probably do have some that are definitely writing more than,
Yes.
there's,
Some that write more tickets than others, you have some that write almost no tickets. It's just the nature of officers. They all have their specialties. Some work harder at caseload, some work in, community service related areas, so it's kind of all over the board.
Jay?
Wasn't there an article that recently broke the paper where Middlefield, the police department, would offer to take somebody home if they were at their local watering hole and had a few too many to drink?
Yes, that's true. That's been a long-term program. That started long before me. That started back around 1992. And it's just been a program that we've always done.
Then I don't see the perception that this would be a speed trap. This would be a community I'd want to live in. Because you have a police department and safety forces that really do care about the community. And if they can take somebody home, perhaps maybe that accident on 700 would have happened, or a whole lot more around here wouldn't happen if more communities took a more personal interest in their citizens.
Donna?
Where will the profit be going? If you do have a mayor's court, you'll be...
That money that stays here in the village goes back into the general fund, which then, of course, can be distributed by council however they want to. But like I think Bill Blue mentioned, that it's not something that goes back to the police department or anywhere else. It goes into the general fund, and then it's distributed from there into the different accounts that we have for, whether it be water and sewer, fixing a street, paving a road, putting in a park,
Putting it in the police
you
department.
know, whatever the case may be, and it could definitely go back into buying a cruiser or whatever the case may be. But the council has that authority then to do with it what they may. Anyone else tonight?
Just to address the one thought, there is another check and balance when in fact, when Judge Allen was on the bench, he lived in Chesterland, and the Chesterland police, they love to stop people at night to see if they're drinking, because they have a 25 zone, 35 and 45, and when you go from 45 to 35 to 25, nobody can slow down that fast, and they stop people all the time. Well, the way the speed law is written in Ohio is if you're on a freeway, if you're in a 55 or 65 zone, and you go 1 mile over the limit, you're guilty. It's called a strict liability statute. So you could technically be found guilty of a speeding 66 and a 65. However, in every other zone, it's called a prima facie case, meaning that is the speed reasonable for the conditions? So when Judge Albert's police department, like I said, he lived there, and he knew everybody. And he would get very angry that the police were stopping people at going 30 and 25, and it's maybe midnight in the summer, and it's not unreasonable to go 30 and 25. He would dismiss those cases. He wouldn't even make the guys pay court costs. And he got Chester to do it. So when you say, it's going to be abusive, if there's a trend that's seen in court, it's addressed. So I'm just saying that's another way that those problems are cured.
Of course, I guess my question would be, since you brought that up, there's not a Judge Albert in this case. There's a Judge Mayor.
There's a magistrate.
Or a magistrate who works for the mayor or works for council.
Well, I've been in
That's what I'm saying, I don't think
20
there
years,
is
so
actually a
I think-
separation of powers under that scenario, and that's my kind of problem with it.
Actually, I think that's not correct, because I've been there for almost 20 years, and it's going to be consistent.
You got a mayor's court?
No, it's chartered municipal.
No, I'm not talking, I'm talking about, you're talking about, in this case, the judge who happen to live in Chesterland that was not part of the Chesterland government
Right.
put the kibosh on some ticket writing practices. But let's say the mayor of Chesterland, if there was such a person, was the judge. Would he be putting the kibosh on it? I doubt it, because that was their program. And that's exactly, you're making my point for me. That's exactly the program that can happen. You don't have a separation. With Judge Albert, you did have a separation in a mayor's court. And I'm not saying anybody here is going to do that. I don't want anybody to be wrong on that. But we could have a different council, we could have different mayors, we could have different philosophies later on. It is a possibility, it's something that can and clearly does happen.
Where? I mean,
Orwell, Ohio was a good example. They don't have a mayor's court anymore.
When they got rid of theirs.
They got rid of it, yeah, they got rid of it.
And the one- the way
That's
this
why.
one's written
But the
is
separation of power that you
year-to-year
just
review.
said works well is what we're eliminating. That's why I agree with you. I think what you said, is correct. There is a balance there. But there's not a balance with mayor's court because it's all, the same person is working for the same person. Everybody's working for each other in that particular case. There's not a third independent party that steps up and says, I don't like you guys writing tickets at 26 when the speed limit's 27. Because they're not going to say that. The mayor obviously would have to be in that particular case in agreement with that philosophy, and he's certainly going to prosecute it.
Maybe that's why the Supreme Court is now mandating that you have a magistrate as opposed to the
It
mayor.
could be.
So there's your third party.
It could be. Although the magistrate is also working technically for the mayor,
Well, he's an independent contractor.
like you are. They can
Right.
fire you and they can fire him. So he does have to, I seriously doubt if you would have come down tonight as an employee of the village or a contractor to speak against mayor's court.
Well, I can tell you the Supreme Court doesn't want him.
Right.
Like I said, I don't have any position one way or the other. I just don't understand why you wouldn't at least try it myself, based on the numbers.
But as an employee, if you didn't like it, you wouldn't be here tonight. And that's just kind of what I'm saying, that everyone in this mayor's court scenario is an employee of the council or of the mayor, however you want to look at it. So you're not going to get many people speaking against policies because that's what they're supposed to enforce.
Well, I would if I saw a
They're all
problem.
without any integrity.
And Chuck, you well know, as well as Mr. Sire, the mayor doesn't hire and fire anyone in this room. It's these other 6 people here. I have not that authority to do so. So, your accusation here that, he could be down here tonight and speaking against me and I'm going to turn around and fire him tomorrow can't be told because it cannot happen.
But we all know how it sometimes works. And if for some reason council and the mayor decided they didn't like the fact that he came down and spoke against it tonight, he probably wouldn't get fired or hired next time.
And that would be a decision. So,
Yeah,
again,
absolutely. And I
yeah,
believe I said, Bill, I said the mayor of council every time I've spoken.
I don't think you did, but yeah.
I think I did.
But the fact is again,
The
it's...
point is, here again, I'm not saying you guys are going to do that or even have the intention of doing that. You're not going to be council forever, you're not going to be mayor forever, you're not going to be police chief forever. I mean, this goes on, for a long time. I just think the thing should go to the election and...
Well, it is going to the election either way, so it is going there. Now, I shouldn't say that because they do have the opportunity to take this off the ballot and not put it on there at all. But you're right. At the most, it's going to go to the election. If not, it's not even going to be an issue. But I think, what Mr. Coyne was stating was the fact that, it is up to these people to do in this council to look at every year in review to see if there is abuse, to see if there are problems, and to make that decision whether to, let's not do this anymore, it's just not working out, it is making a bad name for our village, or we need to change a few things, or keep it rolling, it's working out
I
good.
think a proposition that Carl presented, I think was a good one.
Exactly, and that's what I've said this whole time. After Carl added that line in the ordinance at the end, I thought that was probably the best thing that could have happened to that ordinance, is to say it will be reviewed every year in November, year after year, to make sure things are going well. So if it is 6 new people here and a new mayor here, you don't have that abuse perhaps by a new mayor or council. So,
I'd like to address something there.
go ahead.
Chuck, I take a little offense at that comment as well. I've been sitting at this table longer than anybody else has been sitting here, at least on a continuous basis. Sat here with you, sat here with Rick, and with Dave, and with a lot of other public officials. And it has never been my policy to give the mayor or council or the village my opinion as they want to hear it. It's always been to give my advice, whether you like it or not. You choose not to take it. I'm sure if my advice had been different, the mayor probably wouldn't have invited me to come tonight. But
Well,
that being...
that's what I'm saying with him as well.
Well, that may be the case, but the fact is you've got people who are advisors to the village who are here recommending that this ordinance be attempted. And one of the big things, as the mayor knows, I was not in favor of this because of the Supreme Court's attitude towards mayor's courts. But as we investigated this and as we went through some of the problems the village has had with its criminal prosecutions in Chardon Municipal Court, and as we evaluated some of the economic issues, I became persuaded that this was at least worth trying. And that with Carl's suggestion that this be a pilot program only, we see what happened. There's a mandatory hearing at the end of the period to see what happens, and council make an evaluation then. I thought that was a wise piece of legislation. And I think it's unfair to say that anybody who's speaking in favor of this is speaking because they're being paid by the village as an employee. I think that, at least in terms of my opinion on this, I think I'm entitled to a little bit more respect than that. And I'm not saying this is the greatest idea in the world, but I do think it's one that the case has been made to try it. I think a council considered it very carefully. It had a lot of hearings on it. Nobody spoke up until after it became an issue, and now it's become a political issue that's taken on dimension beyond the legislation itself. That's
Tom,
my
just to
opinion.
re-clarify, I apologize if I offended you, but it was a general, broad interpretation of how it works when you have one level here, judicial enforcement hierarchy, but you don't have the separation as we had with Judge Albert. I'm not saying that I can tell you right now, if Bill thought you were going to come down here tonight to talk against this, he wouldn't have asked you tonight, just like you said. And if he thought Mr. Coyne was coming down to speak against it tonight, he wouldn't have asked him either, because why would you do that? I mean, you're trying to promote something, you're not going to ask those people to come, and you can rightly do that because they are your employees. You can tell them whether to come or not to come.
Right,
You can't tell the council people to
But
come or not to
the
come.
implication is, and the implication I want to correct, and I'm sure you didn't mean it this way, but the inference is that the people who are speaking in favor of this are
No,
speaking in favor because they're employees. And what you have is you have some people that have been here for a long time, that are familiar with the issue, that are in favor of it, and the fact that we are employees really is not influencing that recommendation.
And that's not my intent. I'm just saying that if you were an employee and you could not speak favorably for it, you probably wouldn't be speaking to us tonight because you wouldn't be invited to speak to us.
All right.
I mean, you know how it works, Tom. Don't tell me you don't.
I just, let me suggest this, Chuck. Who in the village, who is an employee, is not here that you'd like to hear from?
I'm not saying that there's anyone that's not speaking whatever way they want to. I'm just saying that when you don't have this separation of power, everyone who's involved in this court system is obviously going to be for it. I mean, they work there, they're elected there, or whatever. You don't have the Craig Albert scenario where you do have another level who is disconnected from it, who says, tickets over 1 mile an hour, I'm not going to prosecute that because I'm just not. It's ridiculous. But had they had a mayor's court in Chesterland, and the mayor's court would have obviously had to endorse that program, or they wouldn't be doing it, they would be getting tickets for 1 mile over the speed limit, wouldn't they? I mean, you're going to have to say yes to that.
That's absolutely false. If I was prosecuting that case, I'd dismiss it. I do it all the time.
They have still the right to say, they still not have the right to say not guilty at the mayor's court and then move it to a different court. So that keeps that separation there.
I think the lesson from the story, Dennis, as a Chesterland resident, I can sympathize with it, is that because Craig Albert knew the speed trap they're talking about, knew how those guys sat out there at 11 o'clock at night and tried to catch you in a 25-mile-an-hour zone on a state highway when there was nothing going on in the business district, he was a little more sensitive to the particular problem because he lived there. The point of that is that when you have a mayor adjudicating your case, I don't think he did that for a similar situation that might have gone on in Chardon or some other community in the county because he wasn't familiar with it and he wasn't lived there. if the mayor is somebody from your community and you're saying, hey, this is a bad problem, where people, the police officers are being a little bit over eager, the mayor's going to be much more likely to be familiar with the problem and be sympathetic to it. And I think that's really the lesson from the...
Well, actually, Tom Craig told me he did it everywhere because he didn't like picking up ticket, but whether he lived in Chesterland or lived in Cambridge.
If you did read...
We happened to have a discussion about that a while ago, that's why I have to know.
If you did read the one article, and I can't tell you which paper it was in last week, but Craig Albert, no, actually it was, the Maple Leaf, I believe. Craig Albert is in favor of this idea also to try and see how it works out. And he does have the faith in the system as it is set up to at least try this and see how it works. So you do have a former judge and a county commissioner at this point saying that they wouldn't mind seeing this at least attempted to see how it works out. Mr. Reed?
I'm rather undecided on this whole issue, that's why I stopped by. To clarify something about magistrates, I believe magistrates have legal knowledge that most mayors don't have. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Are magistrates generally private practice attorneys also?
Yes.
So the financial character dangled in front of a magistrate to conduct a mayor's court is going to be a chump change compared to what he makes in private practice. So how is that possibly going to be a corrupting factor in his mind is, oh, the village might let me go if I don't rule their way? I mean, is the money a magistrate going to make really going to affect what he makes on an annual basis as a private practice attorney?
No, I think...
I know for a fact that Judge Fury was once a magistrate. A lot of magistrates become judges.
Right. I think, like Orange said, they're paying...
I would rather have a magistrate, here in my case, than mayors that have absolutely no knowledge of the law.
We definitely, have not decided... Yeah. The council did not decide what they were doing yet as far as that goes because, once this ordinance was passed, the referendum was filed soon after, and actually, what they were going to do with the magistrate and or mayor, the fines and the fees were not set yet. They had ideas of what they were going to be, but those weren't finalized by any means yet.
I think the promise of a magistrate would be in the mayor and council.
Oh, I think in that...
ridiculous to what they make in private practice all year round.
And I'm not going to speak for council, but I think that's the way they were leaning, is to go with a magistrate at the cost of $2,500 or whatever you said you're paying?
For a year?
For 1 year. Now, even if we held our...
Practice attorney make that in a couple of days.
Yeah. Even if this was held twice a month instead of once, like they were doing, you're talking $5,000. So, yeah, the cost of having a magistrate is not going to make or break the decision here because of financial purposes. So, no, I think it's a very good point.
And I think, I got to make one other comment. When Mr. Dagan's comment about if the cops would have given Mr. Klein a ride home, it might not have had that accident. I think we were failed as citizens in the municipal court system higher up.
Yeah.
The number of times they let Mr. Klein go.
Yeah.
Not the fact that the cops did not give him a ride home. I think the system failed,
Right.
the kids in that accident.
Just for the record, I never prosecuted him. The other thing that you brought up is that, the magistrate's only taking guilties. He's not taking not guilties. He's not going to hear a case. If you plead not guilty, you go to Chardon, and that's where you try it. So the magistrate here is only taking the guilties. And the other thing is, the mayor asked me to come. He didn't ask me to say anything. He asked me to come if people had questions. So he had no idea what I was going to say tonight. He had no idea if I was for or against it. I don't know if he even cares if I'm for it or against it. I'm just giving you my experience.
Yeah, Donna?
Tell me why the Supreme Court is not in favor of it?
Because they're selfish. They want more power. I don't know exactly why, but they think that
I think,
they want to get rid of it.
yeah, there are a number, one thing is mayor's courts are harder to police from the Supreme Court standpoint. With judges, all those judges have licenses to practice law, so if somebody's doing something that's inappropriate, they can't threaten the mayor with losing his job. Another thing is that the mayor's courts result in a very substantial administrative burden for the Supreme Court, because they're different from municipal court. They have a whole set of staff that's set up for that. They have a different set of books they got to keep track of mayor's courts, and they have a training obligation to train all these mayors and magistrates on an annual basis. All of that is an expense to the Supreme Court that if mayor's courts go away, just evaporates, and so that money gets used for something else. So, I'm not going to speak for the Chief Justice as to what all his reasons are, but those are ones I'm aware of.
I clipped an article out of the newspaper that talks about what the Chief Justice did have to say about mayor's courts, and basically said that one man should never hold the executive power and serve as judge of the same city. He's quoted as saying, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals recognized the inherent conflict in a system that permits the person responsible for the fiscal well-being of a community to use judicial powers to produce income that supports that well-being. I mean, that's why the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is against the system of mayor's courts. Basically similar to what Chuck had to say, where, the mayor or, council who's charged with supporting the well-being of the community is running a system that, dispenses justice and creates a cash cow.
And I'm sure
that's why they're getting rid of the mayors and replacing them with magistrates.
That may be.
And I'm sure the Chief Justice wouldn't mind putting a couple $100,000 that's in his budget that he's the administrator of into other things that are closer to judicial salary.
Any other questions tonight?
I'd like to say something. Middlefield has a top-notch police force, I think, and I think most of the people in town think this. I know back in Woodsaw, they are going through there all the time, and we feel safe right there. So Middlefield has a super police force.
Thank you.
Bill, can I say something?
Sure.
I'm just so sad. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Like, wow. I don't understand. I have lived here my whole life. That's a long time, really, it is.
How old are you, Debbie?
But is this about us residents, that live here, or is this about, like, other people against you guys? Because since I have lived here so long, 20 years ago, there was not 20,000 vehicles running through Middlefield. I look at our village administration as a company. They're a business. They're running a business. And with that comes growth. And the village has grown. And we need to stay up with that growth, or you're going to lose control. And if it means having a mayor's court, whoop-de-ding, let's have a mayor's court. Why should we give our money to Chardon when we can keep all that money here and use it for our police department? Who is that benefiting? That's benefiting us as residents. You're right. Living in Middlefield Village is totally awesome, and it's only because of the police department. If we didn't have the police department that we did, and we had people breaking into our houses all the time, do you think I'd be living here? I don't think so. I'd be so scared I couldn't stand it. I'd have to move. No, you guys are losing control of everything that you're supposed to be bringing us here for. What you're bringing us here for is because we're the residents, and it should matter to us what you guys do. That's what we pay you guys all to do. You need to grow, and if you need to grow, have the mayor's court, keep the money here, and you're gonna be, it's gonna be stable, and you're gonna grow. Nobody's gonna think it's a speed trap. If you wanna go on Lake Street sometime, oh man, go right. Last night, I have gotten out of my car, I have literally stopped on Lake Street with somebody tailgating me. I got out of my car and I said, you know what, excuse me. I don't know where you're going, but the speed limit is 25 miles an hour on this road. And this girl, she started crying. And I said, you know, there's a lot of dead people still trying to get to work. I go, all you gotta do is look at the sign, it's 25. Lake Street, since Walmart and all the other surrounding things that have been built, that is the out. They are funneled down Lake Street. And if everybody looks at Lake Street as a speed trap, good for them, because it needs to be. It's a residential street. I just don't understand all this other stuff that's going on. I mean, you know what? It shouldn't be like this. It should be your decision, all of you up there. If you want a mayor's court and you think that's the best thing for our town, then that's what needs to be done. It shouldn't be all this action going on. It should be, we're paying you to do a job. I'm sorry that you guys all have to sit up there and defend yourself in your actions of what you want to do. I just think it's just, that's why I've only been to one meeting.
I mean, what has happened here, and you know, Mr. Sire had the right, or any other resident in this village has the right to you know, get a referendum on anything that this council decides to do, and take it to the voters, and let them decide what they'd like to do. So that has been done, and now council will decide you know, what they'd like to do from this point.
And how much does that charge, though, to put on the ballot?
I don't think there's a charge. Is there anything?
Not to file it.
No, there's no charge.
And it doesn't go on the ballot until November.
The thing is, it will not be on the ballot, like Edna said, until November. So, yeah, we did lose a year of perhaps running a court to see how it would work, and perhaps that revenue that would have stayed here. But
I mean, do you think Middlefield Village is going to become billionaires in 1 year because of our speed trap in town?
and like I said,
If I got a ticket, I would rather come here and pay it and do what I have to do and leave. But why would I want to drive to Charlotte? And then, when I had 40 employees, do you think if those people got tickets, that I want them to take 2 to 3 hours out of their day to go sit in court in Chardon, and then lose all that money and that productivity from them because they had to go all the way to Chardon? It makes no sense.
Maybe if you made it a little more inconvenient for them, though, they'd think about it twice the next time.
That's not.
Well, the next time they couldn't waive it, they'd have to come to court.
I meant the speeding part, or whatever they're doing.
Right.
That's not, based on experience, that does not happen. We get the same.
There's a lot of
people
things that
all the
everybody's saying
time.
don't happen based on experience, but.
Debbie?
My name is Debbie Sire. I live on South State Avenue in Middlefield. I agree with you, I agree with Chuck, and I agree with this gentleman. We have to remember, Debbie, they were elected to serve the people of Middlefield. They're supposed to serve as to what we ask. We are asking just to put it on the ballot, let the people of Middlefield decide. We could argue back and forth all night about we're for it, we're against it. It doesn't matter. As voters, we have a right to decide if it goes on the ballot or not, and that's all we've asked. They're elected to do what the people want to do. The people will speak if they want it, then we'll all support it. If they don't, then they won't have it. That's what we're here for, to say we want to vote on it.
Yeah.
I never got that out of this stuff, did you? Good, so it's going on the ballot?
Oh, it's on the ballot unless
That's what
council,
it's all about.
unless council decides to take it off the ballot.
Debbie, I already said that about 4 times. Apparently you were listening.
I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, okay.
Diane?
If council decides to take it off the ballot, then do they have the option later to decide to make it an ordinance again and vote the 3 times, and so this whole process would have to be gone through again?
They could do that, yes. They could definitely do that. I don't believe that they would attempt to do anything like that, but they have the right that they could do that, yes. They could have rescinded this ordinance already, turned back around a week later and passed it as an emergency, and nothing could have been done. But, you know, they're not going to do that. They heard what was said in the petition that was sent around with the referendum, and now it's their decision to decide how they want to go about it and move forward with it or not. So, I mean, Debbie is right on point there. I mean, we're up here to do what we think is the right decisions to make for our village, you have spoken, or enough of you have spoken to get a referendum on this issue, and now it will go to the ballot unless they decide otherwise. So we'll just take it from there.
That being said, what would be the advantage for you to hold it back from being on the ballot?
What would be the,
Advantage?
to take it off the ballot?
It wouldn't just go off the ballot. The ordinance would be repealed.
Yeah, the ordinance
issue would be settled.
Yeah.
If it's something that you want to do for the people, for the village, and the people would then vote for or against it, what would the advantage be for you to pull that back?
Well, I think
Why would you do that? Even though you have the authority, I understand that.
The purpose of the meeting, Cindy, is the
Sure.
council wanted to find, or sorry, the purpose of the meeting was that council was not aware of any opposition to this program. There's no opposition voiced, and I think the mayor and council wanted to hear from people that had petitioned to have this on the ballot as to reasons why this should be on the ballot, and then make a decision as to whether or not maybe they made a wrong decision. And so that's up to council now, if council wants to say, you know, now that we've heard what you have to say.
Yeah, there's how many people, I don't know, in the last election here for council members, I don't know if there were 600 to 700 people that voted in this village for those people. Now, if 600 people were in this room, or 400 people were in this room tonight, or we had to move the meeting upstairs or whatever, and they were all standing there saying, we do not want this, yeah, they might sit here and make that decision. Well, I mean, we have a majority of the people in this village already looking at us and saying, forget it, we don't like this idea. But, I mean, I'm not going to ask anyone to raise hands in here or anything like that, but, I mean, if we took a look at the people in this room and asked them what they wanted, I don't know, we might be at 50-50, could be at 60-40, something like that, but you're right.
Why would you be opposed then to have it on the ballot?
I am not myself. No, I am not. But it's not my...
I guess that's the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to...
Again, it's not my decision, no, it's theirs, and...
Opposition.
Yeah.
Council, why would council be opposed to having that go on the ballot and let the people decide?
I think it was just to explain that that was an option. I don't think anybody...
And to try to state the facts, you know, make sure the facts are being told truthfully, and understanding of the people out there, that they do know how this runs, how it what the costs are, and understanding everything that was told to us as members up here from everyone. You know,
It seems that if it is on the ballot and the people make the decision, you don't have cake on your face having pulled it back.
well, that definitely could be something that they consider, but, so. Yes, sir.
I'm not saying I'm for or against it, but all I can say is when it was read at all the council meetings, I was at every one of them, and I believe I was probably about the only person here from the community.
Yeah.
We could have passed it as an emergency.
Yeah.
We could have done
I
that.
understand that.
But we didn't, because we wanted to have the three public hearings so that we could know what the people thought about it. And we didn't have any opposition during that time, during those 3 public hearings.
That is correct.
So we passed it.
I guess, Cheryl, to go back to your question, I hope this isn't about, you know, a political issue, that that's not what this is all about, and it is just about the issue of a mayor's court, and that the term mayor's court is not what's being judged here, and it's just the fact that it is just an extension of a court. I think Bill mentioned that. It's just basically an extension of the municipal court that's up in Chardon. So, we hope that is the case.
Bill, didn't you already go through all the training and stuff?
No, the training would have actually been 2 weeks ago. So the training, I did not go to the training.
Oh, wow, I heard you did.
No,
Is that a one-day course?
2 days.
2 days?
So no, that would have been, I think, the 12th and 13th of January, so we didn't proceed any further since the referendum's been turned in, that nothing else has been done with the issue. Any other questions tonight? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? And I would like to thank everyone for coming. I was hoping that there would be a good turnout tonight, and that we wouldn't have 3 newspaper reporters and GTV here by themselves. So I am glad to see that we had people show up. Motion to adjourn. All ayes.
Now what do you need? I just need to chill, to live in. Well, then I'll drive this night. I've got to go to the beach and find Henrietta and have a shot. After all, she's my responsibility and I've got to take care of her. If I think she's going to stay Annie back by tomorrow morning, what if there's something coming up? Andrew, they have the pet store. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm K9 saying, remember kids, only you have the ability to have responsibility. I'll go to the net to prove I can be gratitude, responsibility, generosity, and accountability. Stewardship is acknowledging God as creator and giver of time and talent to every person. A Christian steward is one who receives God's gifts freely, cherishes and uses them in a responsible manner. Stewardship cannot be reduced to occasional acts of charity or volunteer work. It is a complete lifestyle. Stewardship involves a change of heart and personal behavior. Stewardship is what we do after we say we believe. Stewardship bonds the spiritual with the physical dimensions of human life in support of the value and dignity of all people. Stewardship is giving, not because we feel obligated for the needs of others, but because we are grateful to God. Stewardship asks us to look at our gifts and then to make a decision as to how much and what parts of these gifts will become the first fruits that we will return to God. Stewardship is living small, practical, everyday lives. Stewardship brings joy to the good steward. We are all called to be caretakers, not owners of our time, treasures, and talents. Thank you. you. I don't really care. Well, you should because I'm your little sister. Jack, give me a little respect. I'm your mother. You're not the boss of me. Yes, I am, young man.
Dude, can I have 25 bucks back?
Let me think. No.
Well, you're not being a very good friend.
Why did you tell everyone my secret? I told you not to tell anyone. Doesn't matter. Since I can't trust you, we're not friends anymore.
Hey, my friends and I are going down Big Kid Hill. Want to come?
Well, I'm a little scared.
You don't have any courage. You should believe in yourself.
Jack, you cheated on that test. You copied Sarah's paper. Give me a break. I forgot to study. That wasn't very fair to Sarah.
Hey, son, you forgot to do your chores for the last 2 weeks.
So,
You have to know your responsibility.
Jack, you should be a better steward.